Well, hey everybody. Welcome to Afterburner. It's Boom and it's Pike here on a Sunday, and kind of the running joke, at least with Pinder, he likes to whenever I'm doing this show, it's going to overtime or to a shootout, just so we can drag it out a little bit later, so it can go into the night a little bit longer. And when it was 2-2 after 40 minutes, I'm like, yeah, the shootout's going to be great. It's too bad they don't have Kirkland, the specialist. They're really going to miss him. They did not need extra time tonight, as the Stars put 4 past Wolf in the third period alone and win by a score of 6-2. It's getting ugly in a lot of ways for the Flames. Although I guess this. I know Greg Millen and Abbott were trying to, this was not a 5-2 game. It was a 6-2 game by the time it was done. It really felt like the Flames were there until the Stars decided, okay, let's really push this thing. I don't think that there was really a threat of the Flames winning this game, or how did you see it?
Well, I mean, if we're being polite, there's an obvious skill disparity between the Dallas Stars as currently constructed and the Calgary Flames as currently constructed. And we've seen the Calgary Flames play teams where there's a skill disparity. The New York Rangers is one, Boston. Like, they've played teams that are on paper better than them, have better lineups, and they've managed to get points at a lot of these games because they, at their best, play a very structured, very disciplined, unwielding style of hockey. And two things happened in the third period. There was a hole in the dam, and they got leaky. And then the Dallas Stars saw the hole in the dam and then just bashed a much larger hole in it. That one got away from them in a hurry. It was like they got outscored 4-0 in the third period, and most of the bloodletting was in the last 10 minutes of the third period. So I mean, Dustin Wolf is good, but he's not good enough to paper over a lot of mistakes, including his own. And so as a result, a game that was, it wasn't a 5-2 game through 2 periods. It was the Dallas really played well in the first, where the Flames had a bunch of penalties, and then the Flames played pretty well in the second. And it was, if you said based on the body of work, it should have been 2-2, I'd agree with you. And then the third period was all Stars, because the Stars had that extra gear, and the Flames decided to play uncharacteristically poor defensive hockey basically throughout the period.
Should mention Afterburner is a presentation of Bet365, the world's largest sports betting platform. We'll have I took a look ahead to tomorrow. We'll have that coming up a little bit later on in the show. But you can open an account with Bet365 today. Huge range of markets, big NFL day today, don't mind telling you. Download the app, use the promo code NATION. There you see it when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And they led this game 1-0 a minute into it, as well, as they got a nice little break and pretty goal. Okay, here we go. Flames are on the road. This is how they play on the road. It was not to be. I would think for Huska, it's got to be frustrating because, yes, the penalty kill, they don't give up anything tonight. The Stars go 0 for 4 on the power play, but still, it's a parade. Coleman goes, ball goes, then ball goes again. It's just you're trying to play 5-on-5. You're trying to get your offense going, and then you're going to lose guys like Zary and Kuzmenko and whoever else that you want to get involved into the offensive side. So even when the penalty kill is doing its job, it's still a piss off for the coach. Could we get some flow going to this game? Could we get our guys involved here at this point?
Yeah, I mean, the PK was good, but I think, the weirdest thing is, you ever seen the cartoon with the little boy with his fingers in the dam, where he puts his hole in one hole and another hole springs out? That feels like the Flames this year, because especially on special teams, where, beginning of the season, the power play was no damn good and the penalty kill was decent, and then the penalty kill fell off a cliff and the power play got hot again, and then he calls out the power play or the penalty kill after the game, last game, and just basically it says that they're being lazy, in so many words. And then PK was really good today, and the power play gave up a goal, the go ahead goal, the 1-1 goal, and then this other power play didn't really do much of anything, and they got scored on right afterwards.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of how it feels like. Even the best teams don't often have every part of their game purring along. Like, your goaltending might be rough, but your defensive play might make up for it, or either those might be rough, but maybe you have a line that's really on a heater offensively at 5-on-5. The Flames, like, today they had their defensive play and a couple decent looks at 5-on-5, but then their defensive play just absolutely hit the ditch, and they didn't really have anything to make up for it. Because I'm trying to, me, I'm a perennial optimist. If you looked at the last 15 minutes of the third period, and you're going into the plane to hype these guys up for the plane ride to Nashville and get them feeling good about themselves to play Nashville, what do you point to?
I think they're excited to get to Nashville. I don't doubt that is probably the sooner the better if they could get there, and hope that the honky tonks are still open. It was also, and I don't know if it's fair to just chalk it up to the Stars being opportunistic, because they certainly are, and they have a lot of skill. But if the Flames made a mistake, nearly every time they were forced to pay for it. Nazem Kadri inside the blue line can't quite corral that puck. Johnston grabs it, somehow gets between Ball and Anderson and roofs it. Then it's Robertson coming out of the penalty box, and Pospisil isn't aware that he's there, and then he scores. Hints on that goal, Anderson gets clunked while he's in on a pinch, and then both he and Pelche go to Lindell. Hintz is wide open. It's just every time there was a breakdown, except for that one where Stankoven nearly scored backdoor, and then I think Duchesne put it off the post. But if they found a banana peel tonight, the Flames, it was in the back of their net.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like that sometimes. I mean, some nights I think we joked about this after another Afterburner that was kind of like this one that you and I did together. And I think the phrase that we used was, some nights you're just going to be like this. There's going to be some nights that you take it in the teeth because you're playing a team that's better than you, or is hotter than you, or has, something part of your game has gone cold. And, the Flames are a team, for better or for worse. I think it's really evident in their offensive play. They have such a small margin for error in their game because of how little dynamic elite skill they have offensively. They can't score their way around their mistakes, so they have to rely on very prodigious goaltending and a team-wide defensive commitment. And even with that, you have to have you have to be lucky enough to avoid mistakes, and they did not do that tonight. And they just didn't have they just don't have the weapons to overcome that.
Yeah, I'll let you think on it for a moment, where you had the Stars in your preseason prognostications. I want to tell you about Richmond's Pub. We were there last week. We'll be there coming up first week of January. We're heading there. It's our home away from home. It is, of course, in the heart of Glamorgan, 3919 Richmond Road. Great spot, TVs, atmosphere. They got the big goal horn when the Flames, in the event that they score, they have the goal horn going. Specials. They've got the Barn Burner Blonde with Origin Brewing in there. On a Calgary game day, it's Coors Light, Coors Original, Coors Seltzer on special. And tomorrow, it is the Bengals and the Cowboys. Someone from Richmond's Pub is there. They every month they have an NFL or a football VIP experience, and we actually drew that last week when we were there. I think Nathan was his name. So Nathan, flights, hotels, a little bit of spending cash, and tickets to see the Cowboys and the Bengals, and they do it every single month.
Are they in Dallas?
They are in Dallas. Yeah,
that's.
Well, we were
thinking
of this trip because it's Flames tonight and then it's Monday Night Football. As it turns out, the American dollar is quite strong, and it's Christmas, and people are
our dear beloved colleagues at Oilers Nation just returned from their nation vacation to scenic Denver, Colorado, and I've been at the receiving end of some text messages along the lines of "oof."
Yeah. Oof, indeed. So that's how that ended up. Anyway, for Richmond's Pub, that's what's great about Richmond's. They take care of all that for you. You don't need to worry about that. So make sure you head over to Richmond's Pub, whether it's Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, if it's a hockey night. It's just where sports live. 3919 Richmond Road in the heart of Glamorgan. So going back to, you had kind of said when you play a good team, sometimes you're going to get punched in the mouth, and the Flames kind of did tonight, even though they hung in there for a while. You can look at the standings, and I mean, obviously this gives them another boost, but we are talking about one of the top teams in the conference, even though Minnesota's having a great start and Winnipeg loses today, but they've got 20 wins. Who did you have coming out of the West if you were forced to make a pick at the start?
I think I had Dallas up there because
I think I had Dallas coming out of the West.
If you were like, this is the Flames meeting the team they want to be when they grow up. We've heard, our pal Craig Conroy discuss the Dallas model. And, if you look up and down, like they have the hot American goalie in Jake Ottinger. Check. The Flames think they have that or hope they have that. But, that's one thing they have. They have, oh God, their blue line. Like when Thomas Harley is their third or fourth or fifth best defenseman. Like they have Lindell, they have Heiskanen, they got a murderer's row of strong young defensemen, and guys like they even have like when Nils Lundqvist is on your third pair, and you got guys waiting in the AHL for their chances. They had Maverick Bourque just come up because of the injury to Sagan, and so okay, if Maverick Bourque is a guy who's not good enough to play on your team full time, and he's the reigning American League MVP, that's not a bad system. So like, they have, you can sort of squint and sort of, see what the Flames kind of want to do, because like, if you look at Dallas, like they have sort of the older guys, they didn't completely jettison everyone over the age of 30. They kept some guys. And I think, if you look at the influence that they've had on guys like Jason Robertson and Mason Marchment and guys like that who've come along and really been able to step in and mature and sort of slot in nicely, they were able to use the old guys to protect them a bit and shelter them a bit. And now, now you can basically just throw Robertson and Marchment over the boards in every game situation, but it took them a while to get there. And yeah, I'd be trying to copy what Dallas does too, because damn, like they got, even if you look at their farm team, the Texas Stars regularly churn out NHL level talent. Like you could just take a ball peen hammer and kneecap a few Dallas Stars on your way to the parking lot today, and they'd have 3 or 4 guys come up from the farm tomorrow who'd be decently, pretty productive NHL players right away. And that's a testament to how well they've been doing.
And I mean, Heiskanen was a top 5 pick. It's not as though Stankoven, Johnston a little bit later, they've done a good job of finding those guys. So yeah, if you can draft extremely well and then live in a tax-friendly part of the world and all that sort of thing, it can work for you. The Dallas model for sure. Derek Newman Group, CIR Realty, buying or selling, let Derek go to work for you. His email, dnewman@cirrealty.ca. Buying or selling a home, it can be, especially if you're thinking about selling a home, you're like, this house is too big. We need more space. I just don't know how we can do it. Derek is the guy who not only finds the people to buy your home or finds the home that you need to buy, he also helps you along the way. In-home complimentary in-house staging consultation. Whether it's your first purchase, he's there. He's on the selling side with the pre-listing consultation. He's going to find homes that are off market. He's going to go that extra mile, is what you need to know. Calgary guy, loves it here. He could go to Dallas, but he's staying. He doesn't, tax-free, whatever. I'm staying in Calgary. That's Derek's motto. 403 619-6661. That number again, 403-619-6661. And the email, dnewman@cirrealty.ca. It's the Derek Newman Group. So if you're buying or selling, whatever it is, let Derek go to work for you. So looking at the numbers here now for Dustin Wolf. Gone are the never mind the Calder. I might be talking about the Vezina here. After he allowed, had one goal against the Kings, and then shut out Nashville, 1 versus the Islanders, a couple versus the Rangers. This is now his 3rd straight loss. He allowed 4 to the Senators, 4 to the Jackets, and then tonight a 6th spot on 28. And this isn't one of those, has he got to go to the minors? It's just, it's the ups and downs of a season. And I'm curious to see because he will, and I don't think he was terrible tonight, but the Hintz goal is probably one that feels like, okay, that's just a tip in front. And then of course there's the one where he doesn't play it very well behind the net. He wasn't near good enough tonight. I don't think he can start, they're very much back in the rotation again. Vladar's been the better goalie now here for, I guess, a couple of weeks, which I don't know if I saw coming.
Yeah, I think some of that's also just, Dustin Wolf has been, they've been smart enough to shelter him. He hasn't played a full year in the NHL yet. And, he's not great on the road. He's, I think it's partially the Flames in general play a looser, leakier defensive style of game on the road. I think, including tonight, Dustin Wolf has an .862 save percentage on the road, and I think he's .940 at home. So the Flames look like two different teams depending on the arena they're playing in. They're currently riding, I believe, a 7-game undefeated streak at home and an 8-game winless streak on the road. And that's the Calgary Flames this year. They are a team that finds ways to win at home, or at least find ways to get points. And they're a team that finds ways to slip on banana peels on the road.
Yeah, like this one here. It's an opportunity, again, opportunistic. I don't think it's a great scoring chance, but it's a mistake. And they pounce. The one where it goes over Pospisil's head, they pounce. Johnston scores. Hintz with the tip, scores. But yeah, in terms of Wolf, it's just how quickly things can change. Because we do a show every day, as you know, and it was a lot of talk about this guy, and he's done it at every level and all of that. There's going to be some rocky waters, and I think he's obviously in them now. And I guess, we can do the road ahead. We can just take a look here at what the schedule is. They of course have they're in Nashville on Tuesday. Thursday they come back home. It's Tampa, and then Saturday Florida, and those are not fun games. And then it's Boston, Ottawa, and Chicago as they head into a 5-game homestand. So he's just gonna have to play himself out, and this is good maturation for him. This is the kind of stuff we thought we were going to see all season. Like this was 6 goals against, just getting a barrage of shots and making mistakes. Fortunately, this has kind of been more the outlier than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that speaks to how well he's done his pro. And, Craig Conroy has spoken about this in the past, as has the coaching staff. Wolf, when he went into the American League his first year, he had an adjustment period where, he got kicked in the teeth in his first couple starts, and then he adjusted. And, there's been a few games this year. I think if you look at his body of work, I mean, he went head-to-head with Igor Shesterkin on home ice and won. Tonight he went head-to-head with Jake Ottinger, a very good goaltender that apparently it took voodoo for the Flames to beat in 2022. And, he was neck and neck with a very good Jake Ottinger. If he goes in either the Tampa or the Florida game back at home, he'll probably go head to head with Andrei Vasilevsky or Sergei Bobrovsky. So these, if you're a young goaltender and you're trying to prove yourself, these are the kind of opportunities you want, because, regardless if he wins or loses, and granted, he's a competitive guy, he wants to win every game. And I bet you he's probably on the plane right now with an iPad, just stewing over every puck that got past him, because that's how he's wired. But these are the kind of games he looks forward to. He's probably on the plane lobbying for a particular start against a particular guy against Tampa or Florida, because he wants to match himself up against the best in the world. And that chip on his shoulder, that competitiveness, is why he's been so good. But to get better, you ever see the movie Goon? I think the phrase is, you got to be shitty to get better. This is the phrase. They're at the point now where they're a team with some young faces and some young guys in really key positions. Kevin Ball is 24, 25 years old. Pahal is not even 25, 26. They have a lot of guys who are 25 and under in their first full pro year. Connor Zary, relative to the rest of the team, is an elder statesman because he's played a full year in the NHL already. That's kind of weird, but it's a young team and it's an inexperienced team. And when you're young and inexperienced and not particularly deep in high-end talent, and you're playing the freaking Dallas Stars at home, it'll get ugly sometimes. But that's how you're gonna get better, right?
Well, that's how the saying goes. Yeah, it's like when you make mistakes. Well, it's a learning lesson. Well, as long as you're learning from them. But no, we shouldn't really be that stunned. They played a very good team, and they hung in there through 40, and then one team flexed its muscle when it got a chance to do it. Again, 22 saves, 6 on 28, the official number there for Dustin Wolf. They go 0 for 3 in the power play, kill off all 4 of the penalties that they took. 3 of them came in the first period of play. Huberdeau from Kadri, and Zary from Miramanov, and Kuzmenko. So Kuzmenko getting back in and getting an assist. So I'd be another one of those nights where for Kuzmenko's like, I got on the score sheet. I can't feel good about it. We got absolutely worked. It's not the night to be. Hey, boys.
Have you ever been in an Andrei Kuzmenko scrum?
No, I've not actually.
It's shades of Mika Kiprasov, where I'm pretty sure Mika just did it because it amused him. Where
Yeah.
Mika would just mumble to himself, and you had to sort of lean in to find out what the hell he was talking about. Kuzmenko's like that, especially when he's not happy with his game, and he's been whispering a lot in scrums this year, unfortunately.
Yeah. Let's do our Alberta Blue Cross memorable, meaningful moment. It's memorable too. It's however you want it to be. If you're planning a trip, make sure you remember to pack travel insurance from Alberta Blue Cross. You've got Canada's most trusted travel insurance in your back pocket. You can focus on making the right kind of memories while you're away. It just makes sense. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel. For more information, here is a look at the meaningful moment, and it's, I get memorable, meaningful. It's all of it as we take a look. Did you see what happened with Tom Wilson on the weekend? Tommy's in front of the net. Now you can't really see it there. We'll let you take another look, but he's taken a puck right to the side of his face. A point shot from Chychrun. I don't know if it went off of something. Either way, it caught him right there. Now, so did he get hit? I'm not sure. I couldn't really see. Oh, he got hit. As his face, he's got a massive, I don't know what you want to call a goiter.
There's a face growing out of his face.
There's Tom Wilson coming back, bagging in a rebound. That ties the game at 2, and not to be outdone, 8 to go in the third, scores. Takes one right to the jibs. Huge swelling, and then comes back to score the tying and game-winning goal. That's meaningful stuff right there. That is meaningful stuff for Alberta Blue Cross. If you're going on that trip, maybe you're thinking about it coming after Christmas, we're going on a hot holiday or whatever, make sure you've got Alberta Blue Cross with you. Canada's most trusted travel insurance. Then you don't need to worry about anything. Something maybe goes sideways, you're taken care of. Make the memories you want to make. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Have you ever had a face goiter or anything like that?
I mean, when I had my wisdom teeth out, I don't think my face swelled up like that. I mean, whew. And I bet you he didn't have the kind of pain meds I had when I had that out. I mean, that's a tough dude.
And I'm wondering too, why are you coming back? I mean, it's noble, and he's a hockey player. That's what you do. And you almost feel like, well, I have to come back, because if I don't, then they're not going to, if I come back, it's a great story if I come back. But at what kind of facial trauma do you need to sustain before the doctor says, no, it's December.
It's not quite Gregory Campbell in the Stanley Cup final. It's, Tom Wilson in the first week of December, like game 26. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Just maybe just stay in the back. We'll bring you an ice pack and some smoothies and just chill for a little bit. We'll bring some injections to you. We'll bring the swelling down, but just don't do anything. Don't take any other hits to your face, because you know what's going to happen.
Well, I think too, when you go on a plane, doesn't stuff like. I remember talking to Warner. I think Warner was saying that he broke his orbital bone or something, and it was kind of collapsed. And then when he got on the plane, everything just kind of good.
Depending on the type of break, you can't fly. I think you have to get clearance from a team doctor to fly, because I remember I was in Montreal for the Josh Koscheck GSP fight, the one where I think GSP had trained with the boxing trainer Freddie Roach before the fight, and he was basically just jabbing the guy in the face and basically caved the entire orbital bone in, and the poor guy could not leave Montreal for like 2 weeks because they had to wait for it to heal a bit, then fly him home, then break it again so they could reset the bone. None of that sounds fun, and I saw photos of him afterwards. It was gross. Not quite Pender Report gross, but still pretty gross.
Well, I mean, that's another level. Hope he's all right. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here in a moment. I want to tell you about Sober Carpenter. Craft beer reimagined. This year, Sober Carpenter celebrates 5 years of brewing award-winning non-alcoholic craft beer. From hoppy IPAs to rich Irish Reds, we've got the flavor without the buzz. You can find Sober Carpenter at Sobeys and Loblaws, or delivered straight to your door. SoberCarpenter.com is their website. Here's to 5 years of staying true to the craft. Sober Carpenter, crafted for those who sip differently. And it's sipping season. You're gonna be probably, there's a good chance you might be doing a little bit of sipping, maybe more sipping than you would normally be sipping. And if you do think that maybe, I love those delicious IPAs and the reds and all that. I love that flavor, but can't be doing it. Then you need some Sober Carpenter. Go to their website, SoberCarpenter.com. I looked ahead to the sked tomorrow for Bet365. 3 games tomorrow. Buffalo and Detroit. One is winless in 6, one's winless in 5. So something's got to give. I can't tell you which one's which, though. It's not real great, but I'm going to go with the Ducks, and I'll tell you how, and I'll tell you why. Bet365 is, of course, the official gaming partner of Afterburner and Barnburner. It's the world's largest sports betting platform. You open that account, use our promo code NATION when you sign up, get the app on your phone, play along. Once the game starts, you're still in the game. The lines are moving. You got all kinds of things going on. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. So now here's the Anaheim Ducks in Montreal to face the Canadiens. These are 2 teams that are lower in the NHL standings. I'm liking the Anaheim Ducks money line, a plus 125. So just win, baby. Just win. The spread's aggressive. I like the Ducks getting a little bit of love here in the road. They did just get slobber knocked at home, but they have points in 5 straight on the road, 4-0-1 in their last 5 road games. And I don't think Montreal's terrific. They're kind of doing we're going to win 1, we're going to lose 2, we're going to win 2, we're going to lose 1. They're kind of doing that thing. So I'm going to take a crack at the Ducks on a money line. Just win, baby. Plus 125 as my Bet365 for tonight. Jacob Trouba and the Anaheim Ducks.
I like Anaheim's goaltending, and that blue line. I mean, if you're one of those Montreal forwards, you're trying to finesse your way through the neutral zone, and then what's it, Radko Gudas and Jacob Trouba welcoming you to the offensive zone.
It was quite a weekend for Jacob Trouba, I would guess. Yeah, I don't know. I saw a lot of people saying, so this is the guy, we're having sympathy for the guy making $8 million and now is moving to California to live in a mansion and continue to be paid $8 million. Like I do see that. Yeah, I'm gonna I'll hold back the tears a little bit, I suppose, on that. But it sure hasn't painted, although it didn't seem to affect Shesterkin. He said, I'll take the money. But it's certainly left Chris Drury, it seems like, with a bit of tarnish on the reputation, whether he deserves it or not. Did
Shesterkin get a full no move?
I didn't get that deep into it. I just saw it's all the years and all the money, which I guess you deserve that when you're arguably the best goalie in the world. So, and they can afford it.
Yeah, and he's I mean, if he's not the best, who's better? I mean, maybe Hellebuck. I'm willing to have that conversation.
It's a small group there, right? If you still think Vasilevsky's in that group.
Yeah, I got feelings about how it was handled, but I'm also, when a player, says I got a no move or a no trade, that you like, if you and I are negotiating, you say, I'll give you a no move or no trade to sign with my team, and then you get mad at me for exercising it, that's on you. Yeah. But at the same time, if you only negotiate a no trade and it gives you the ability to threaten to waive you, I mean, you'll probably think twice about that the next time you negotiate a deal. So, I mean, it carves both ways. It's not great business, but I'm sure if you're the New York Rangers, I mean, let's be honest, original 6 team, biggest city in the world, MSG, all the history and majesty of that hockey club, you can get away with some kind of business that probably other markets can't get away with.
Sure you can. And you look at James Dolan, it's that kind of, whatever you want to call it, belief system, arrogance, cockiness. that's how he's become one of the most hated guys in sports with the Knicks and maybe with the Rangers. Certainly on the basketball side, it is. So that is anyway. That's what that's about. We can wrap it up just grabbing some burning questions out of the chat. This one is not so much a question. It's just a Pike making some good points. Look at that.
I got 2 or 3 a year that people go, well thought. Well thought.
Very astute by that young Pike. Calgary Flames 80. If you're on Team Tank, it's finally starting to happen. That is the other part. While some people be disappointed, other people, hey, it was a good game through 40 minutes. It was 2-2. Yeah, they got shit pumped in the third. Whatever. Move on, play the next one. 0 points. Excellent.
And if Dean, if you want to use this game as a metaphor for the season, we see everyone's kind of a mess in October, November. Usually the teams that have a good October are the ones that sort of figure their crap out quickly. The Flames had a good October because they had a good camp, because they really had no excuse not to, and really no margin for error. So they were able to pick up some points in October and November. Teams tend to find another level in November, December, and then another level again in February-ish, heading in and out of the All-Star break. And then, teams are probably playing, the playoff teams are playing playoff caliber hockey or close to it in February, March, April. So the Flames, we'll see if they have other levels they can find, but Dallas has many other levels, and they just flipped the switch in the third and found a level. And in the metaphor of the season, if you're Team Tank, I think the Flames will be facing a lot of teams that have that switch that they can flip. Tampa, Boston, Florida in the next little bit, and we'll see how they can handle it.
Flames have always been that team too, that once the expectation and the pressure of that is gone, they play better. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how that's going to be. CeeLo is he's not quite as dipped. I don't ever want to hear playoff talk again. It's done. Start the tank now and trade more pieces at the deadline. So while some are like, hey, this is okay, it's team tank. CeeLo's, let's go.
They're waking up tomorrow. When you guys wake up and prep for the show for the first time since October 30th, the Flames will be under the playoff cut line. It's been a good month. 5 weeks? So however long it's been. 5 weeks.
Is it applause? Is it a celebration? Is it doom and despair? I don't know. To each their own. Chris had a thought about the goaltending. Vladar got the net after the Pittsburgh loss, and that was 6 in that one. If the coach wants to show Wolf some confidence, go with Wolf, but he's okay if he goes back to alternating too. I don't know. This just feels like you go to Vladar. There's no. I'm not worried about sending messages or anything. It's another loss for. It's another loss for Wolf. You get to sit and watch another one. It's not punishment. It's just how it's going to be.
I know they had a plan for how they wanted to divide things up, but then I think the last couple days, I think definitely before the Columbus game and the one following it, Wolf was a little bit under the weather, and so I think they altered the plan. But I bet you they probably have something sketched out between now and Christmas, and we'll see if they stick to it.
And when it is a younger guy, I'm sure it's you handle it a little bit more delicately than you might otherwise. Because I know there's been some times, if say Daryl was the coach, he had no time, no patience, and no time for backups losing games. There's no excuse for you not to win. You're rested. You've been practicing. What are you worn down? You are ready to go. We cannot be looking at backup games as toss-away games. It was tough being a backup, unless you were quite good. Or McLennan. McLennan seemed to be on the right side of that with Daryl, but nonetheless, that's it's probably not. There's not much more to really say on this. For the Flames, it's 1 win in their last 7. They've been better on the road. They do not get a road win. It's 4 in the third, 2 in just over a minute, which breaks this one wide open. We'll see what happens. It's Nashville, and they're not a very good hockey club. We could talk about the Flames, but right there near the bottom, they have 6 regulation wins in 28 games. They're 7, 15, and 6 overall. And they don't score a lot. They give up a lot. And at home. Well, they're 5-6-2 at home, but I mean, it's just not turning around. They have 2 wins in their last 10 games. If you were waiting for the Predators to come to life and the Stamkos Marchessault thing to really start clicking, it really has not started to click for the Preds.
No, and it's on paper they seem like they should be a lot better. I think everyone saw the moves they made on July 1st, and they were sort of declared the winners of free agency because Marchessault seems like a very good fit there. Stamkos finds a good landing spot if you're not going to be playing in Tampa and riding your Sea-Doo to games. Waltzing down Broadway seems like a pretty good thing to settle for. But it's just one of those things where you can a lot of things. We've seen things in this market where on paper you go, that seems like a good fit, and just doesn't pan out. And right now it seems like they're just not clicking the way they want them to.
Flames fall by a score of 6-2. It will not be me. So there's a chance there's a win. I'm not sure the last time I worked a win on this show. It's not work. Don't even worry about it. It's not about me. I'd need an awfully long stick to impact the play from where I watch the games. But Flames drop one in Big D by a score of 6-2. For Pike, for our producer Andy, it's boom. See you, buddies.